Right now, tucked up under your ribs on the right side, sits an organ working a double shift you never asked it to take. It's roughly the size of a football. It weighs about 3 pounds, and it's the only organ in your body that can regrow itself after losing more than half its mass. And here's the wild part. If you stopped drinking alcohol today and gave it 30 days, that same organ would start rebuilding itself in ways you can almost track on a calendar. So what actually happens inside your liver, hour by hour and day by day, when the alcohol stops coming? Let's decode it. Here's why this matters to you. Your liver is your body's filter, its chemical plant, and its storage warehouse, all fused into one. It handles hundreds of jobs at once, breaking down toxins, managing your blood sugar, making proteins that stop you from bleeding out. And every single time you take a drink, it drops almost everything else to deal with the alcohol first. Why does it treat alcohol like an emergency? Hold that question. By the end, you'll see exactly why your liver panics and why giving it a break changes so much so fast. So let's start at hour 1. You've had your last drink and your liver gets to work. It can only process about 1 standard drink per hour. That's it, no speeding it up. To your liver, alcohol isn't a treat, it's a poison it has to neutralize before that poison reaches your brain and heart. So it converts the alcohol into a nasty chemical called acetaldehyde, then breaks that down into something harmless. But while it's busy doing that, it can't do its other work properly. Which brings us to the strange part. While your liver is distracted by alcohol, it stops releasing stored sugar into your blood the way it normally would. That's part of why drinking can leave you shaky, tired, and foggy the next morning. But once the alcohol clears, usually within a day or so of your last drink, your liver finally gets to breathe. It goes back to steadying your blood sugar, and many people notice their energy stops crashing and their morning fog starts to lift within the first few days. That's beat 1 of your 30-day story, but the deeper repair hasn't even started yet. Now, jump ahead to around days 3 to 7. Something you can't feel is happening under the surface. Your liver stores fat, and alcohol makes it store way more than it should, a condition doctors call fatty liver. Here's the encouraging part. Fatty liver is one of the most reversible conditions in the whole body. Research suggests that when you stop drinking, the liver begins clearing out that excess fat almost immediately. In cases where the buildup is mild, studies have found that fat levels can drop significantly within just a couple of weeks. Your liver is quite literally decluttering itself. But it's not done because fat was only the first problem. Here's where it gets interesting. Underneath that fat, there's been inflammation. Think of it as a low, constant irritation, like a bruise that never quite heals because you keep pressing on it. Every drink was another press. When you stop pressing. Around the 2-week mark, many people's blood tests start to show liver enzymes, chemicals that leak out when liver cells are stressed or damaged, beginning to fall back toward a normal range. Lower enzymes are a signal that the inflammation is calming and your liver cells are under less strain. And a calmer liver is a liver that can finally start to rebuild. But here's the strange part about that rebuilding. Your liver doesn't just heal, it regenerates. It's the superhero of your organs. Damage a chunk of it and the remaining cells can multiply to replace what was lost, something your heart and brain simply cannot do. During a break from alcohol, those liver cells get the calm, uninterrupted window they need to actually do this repair work.
Now, if someone has been drinking heavily for years, some damage can become permanent scarring, and 30 days won't undo all of it. That part is genuine, and it's why doctors take long-term drinking seriously. But for a great many people, this regeneration window is exactly when the liver quietly reclaims lost ground. Now, watch what happens to the rest of you, because your liver doesn't work alone. As it recovers through weeks 3 and 4, it gets better at filtering your blood, and a lot of people report changes they can actually see and feel. Your skin can look clearer and less puffy, partly because your body is holding on to less water and inflammation. Your sleep often gets deeper. Alcohol wrecks the most restorative stage of sleep, so removing it lets that stage come back. And because your liver is once again managing your blood sugar smoothly, those energy crashes tend to fade. None of this is guaranteed for everyone, and the timing varies from person to person, but it's a common enough pattern that it's worth knowing about. By day 30, step back and look at what your liver has pulled off. It has processed out the alcohol, refilled your blood sugar reserves, cleared away stored fat, cooled down its inflammation, dropped its stress signals, and used the quiet to regenerate cells. All of that from one organ just because you gave it room to do its job. It even tends to work better for you in ways that reach beyond the liver, from your skin to your sleep to your steadiness at 3 p.m. So why does your liver treat alcohol like a 5-alarm emergency? Here's the payoff. Because your liver is the only thing standing between that poison and the rest of you. Every time you drink, it throws itself in front of the danger and puts its 100 other jobs on hold to protect your brain, your heart, and your blood. That's not a flaw. That's loyalty. And when you stop drinking for 30 days, you're not really doing something dramatic and new. You're just finally letting the hardest working organ in your body clock out of the emergency shift it's been pulling for you this whole time. That's why the changes come so fast. Your liver was ready. It was just waiting for the chance. If this made you see your body a little differently, stick around and keep decoding how your body actually works. There's a whole hidden world running inside you every second, and it's genuinely fascinating once you can see it. And if you want to know what happens next, check out our video on what your gut does in the days after you change what you eat, because your liver and your gut are closer partners than almost anyone realizes. One last thing, and it matters. This video is educational content only. It's here to explain how your body works, not to give you medical advice. Everyone's health is different, and alcohol affects each person in their own way. So please talk to a doctor or a qualified medical professional before making any changes to your drinking, your diet, or your health. Your body's worth that conversation.